Welcome to the world of Gary the Gassy Grasshopper. One sunny morning, Gary the Gassy Grasshopper and Jim Bob the Frog were getting ready for their big day at work. They had their overalls on, their work boots laced up, and they were feeling ready to take on the world. "Today's the day, Jim Bob," Gary said, adjusting his cap. "We've got an important job at the egg processing facility." Jim Bob nodded excitedly. "I've heard this job is extraordinary. We get to help sort and pack eggs all day long." Gary and Jim Bob hopped off to the egg processing facility, excited to start their new job. When they arrived, the doors of the large building swung open, and they were greeted by their boss, Mr. Cluck, a wise old rooster who ran the place. "Welcome, Gary and Jim Bob," Mr. Cluck said, flapping his wings with excitement. "Today, you'll be sorting eggs, making sure they're clean and ready for packing. Don't worry, it's an easy job." Gary and Jim Bob grinned and got to work. They started sorting eggs, carefully inspecting each one, making sure it was clean and in perfect condition. Gary hopped from one egg crate to another, while Jim Bob used his long frog tongue to delicately pick up eggs and place them on the conveyor belt. But after a few hours of hard work, something strange started to happen. Gary's stomach rumbled. "Uh-oh," Gary muttered to himself. "I think I might have eaten too many snacks this morning." Jim Bob's tummy growled too. "Me too. But we can't let it distract us. We've got eggs to sort." And so they worked on, despite their grumbling bellies. But then it happened. As Gary bent over to pick up another egg, a loud echoed through the room. Jim Bob froze for a moment, his eyes wide. Did you hear that?" he asked. Gary's face turned bright red. "Oh, that wasn't me," he said quickly, looking around. "I think it came from the egg crates. Yeah, they're a little gassy." Jim Bob nodded, trying to hold back a giggle. "Yeah, those egg crates sure are noisy." But as soon as Jim Bob turned to grab another egg, his stomach gave a loud gurgle, and out came a big, echoing burp. Gary and Jim Bob both looked at each other nervously. "I swear, that wasn't me either," Jim Bob said, his cheeks turning red. "Must be the eggs again." They kept working, but the noises didn't stop. Every now and then, Gary would bend over to pick up an egg, and another fart would escape. And every time Jim Bob bent down to help, his stomach would grumble, followed by another. By the end of the day, their bellies were sore from holding in all the gas, but they had managed to sort and pack a mountain of eggs. They were both exhausted but happy with their hard work. "We did it, Jim Bob," Gary said, wiping a bead of sweat from his brow. "We're egg-spurts." "Egg-sactly," Jim Bob replied with a grin. After clocking out, Gary and Jim Bob hopped back home, their bellies still rumbling. They were ready for a relaxing evening, and they had the perfect meal planned: egg salad sandwiches. In the kitchen, they carefully peeled their freshly boiled eggs and mashed them up with mayo, mustard, and a little bit of salt and pepper. They spread the creamy egg salad on slices of bread and sat down at the table. "This is going to be the best egg salad sandwich ever," Gary said, taking a big bite. Jim Bob agreed, munching on his sandwich. But as soon as he took a big bite, his stomach let out a loud, deep rumble. "Uh-oh," Jim Bob said, his eyes widening. "Here it comes." Gary's stomach gurgled too, and just as Jim Bob started to laugh, a loud echoed from Gary's side of the table. "Oh no, not again," Gary laughed, covering his face with his hand. Jim Bob laughed so hard that he nearly spit out his sandwich. "It's okay, buddy," he said between giggles. "It's like a symphony of farts." And from that moment on, they both let out a continuous series of silly toots and burps. Each time they laughed, another one slipped out, and soon their whole house was filled with the sounds of their gassy symphony. "Maybe we should have eaten a little less egg salad," Gary said, still chuckling. "Hey, who cares?" Jim Bob said, patting his belly. "It's all part of the fun." And so, as the night went on, Gary the Gassy Grasshopper and Jim Bob the Frog continued to laugh, fart, and enjoy their silly, gassy evening together. They'd had a full day of working hard at the egg processing facility, but now it was time to unwind and embrace the joys of friendship, laughter, and the occasional, unavoidable fart.